sides there is optimism that is being shown, Israel as well as Trump. In fact, Trump in his latest statement has also gone on to say the same, that Israel has agreed to initial withdrawal line, that ceasefire will be there post the confirmation that comes in from Hamas, going on to say that Hamas is confirming the same. In fact, as the pressure mounts, and we're seeing the same, Netanyahu sending a delegation to Egypt as well, aiming to finalize the technical details of the hostage release. So Netanyahu issuing a statement saying from Israel's side, all is being done to ensure peace. Listen in.
אני הנחיתי את צוות המשא ומתן בראשות השר דרמר לצאת למצרים כדי לסגור את הפרטים הטכניים של שחרור חטופינו. הכוונה שלנו והכוונה של ידידינו האמריקנים היא לתחום את המשא ומתן הזה בימים בודדים. ושמעתם את הנשיא טראמפ הערב. הוא אמר בבירור, לא נסבול לו תרגילי דחייה, משיכת זמן או התחמקות מצד החמאס. עכשיו בשלב השני, החמאס יפורק מנשקו והרצועה תפורז. זה יקרה או בדרך מדינית לפי תוכנית טראמפ, או בדרך צבאית על ידינו.
So, Shringer, after close to 2 years, are we finally very, very close to a peace deal? Could this actually happen? The delegation in Egypt and the Israeli Prime Minister also saying that only the technical details are being looked at. Could this actually mean that after months and months of the war that has ravaged the entire region, we could finally see peace there?
Israel and Hamas, the way things have unfolded in last 1 week definitely gives a glimpse of a glitter of hope as well. That way that we might see things getting better in the region. We haven't seen peace in the region for quite some time. Even the peace that we saw even before October 7th, for that matter, was a bit fragile. But here, the U.S. brokered deal where Donald Trump wants to ensure safety, security for countries in the region is something that world is looking with anticipation. How long this will continue, and if this is a lasting peace, how good it would be. Remember, Donald Trump has given a security guarantee now to Qatar as well in an executive order. That means a lot. Apart from that, if Hamas has agreed to return all the hostages, and for that matter, Netanyahu has also hinted in his statement that the hostage return is possible in another 48 hours. And now that there is a delegation going to Egypt for further negotiations on technical grounds is something that shows that the hope for peace is stronger than before.
Okay, all right. In fact, the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had also said that he hopes to announce the release of all hostages from Gaza in the coming days. Do stay on, Shringer and Rishabh. Indirect talks with Hamas are continuing in Egypt in the US's plan to end the war. In a brief statement released, Netanyahu in fact went on to confirm that the delegation is going to look at the technical details. This was after Hamas accepted some of the elements of the US plan. So Netanyahu announcing that we could be a step closer to peace.
הנחיתי לפני כמה שבועות את צה"ל להיכנס למעוז החשוב ביותר של החמאס, העיר עזה. במקביל, תיאמתי עם הנשיא טראמפ וצוותו מהלך מדיני שהפך בן רגע את הקערה. במקום שישראל תבודד, החמאס מבודד. וכתוצאה מהלחץ הצבאי העצים שהפעלנו והלחץ המדיני, החמאס נלחץ להסכים לתוכנית שהבאנו.
Defense expert A.K. Sivach is on the broadcast with us. Good morning and thank you for joining us. How do you look at this statement coming in from both US as well as Israel, indicating that we could be a step closer towards peace in the region, though from the side of Hamas, there have not completely been positive signs. They may have agreed to some parts of the peace plan, but it all depends now on the hostage release, isn't it?
The point is that the 20 peace plan, which has been presented from the Donald Trump, by and large it has been accepted by Hamas. Hamas is first ready to release all the hostages within 72 hours. And the point only sticking is complete disarmament of Hamas, as well as they basically leaving the Gaza. So now these 2-3 points are there which are sticking points. Now they want to further discuss it. And now the discussion instead of Qatar will take place in Egypt. But one is very hopeful that this peace plan will go through it. There are only hiccups. There are 2-3 issues which are there where they need clarification and they may need to renegotiate. I'm sure that the US also is interested in that, because the major issue was, is the peace plan acceptable to Hamas? That one is very clear. Yes, Hamas by and large in principle has accepted the peace plan. It's only 2-3 issues which need to be again ironed out, and that's possibly now taking place in Egypt instead of Qatar, and that will be also resolved.
Okay, all right. Thank you for joining us on the broadcast. In fact, the US President Donald Trump had also warned Hamas to accept this 20-point peace plan that they put in place on Gaza. In fact, the US President had also warned that either the peace plan should be followed or there will be consequences like no one has ever seen before. These were the words of Trump. In fact, Trump's statement marking the first time since his return to power in January that he has explicitly called on the key US ally Israel. And Trump, in fact, went on to say that he believed that Hamas was ready for lasting peace. The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office said that Israel was preparing for an immediate implementation of this first stage of Trump's Gaza plan. And then went on to say that after the release of the hostages, it would be followed. The Palestinian militant group issued its response to Trump's 20-point plan. Hamas's statement, though, made no mention of its intent on disarmament. In fact, the part of the US president's plan says very clearly that they must disarm immediately, but that is one point where Hamas has not exactly agreed. World leaders are also expressing optimism after Hamas agreed to a US-backed peace deal that includes the release of all Israeli hostages and a halt on the ongoing hostilities in Gaza. The Prime Minister, in fact, not just from Israel are such indications coming in. Remember, Prime Minister Modi had also called the development a significant step toward peace, saying that it's a step forward in the efforts to restore peace in the region that has been long scarred by conflict and bloodshed. This unprecedented move is being hailed globally as a potential turning point towards lasting peace. So this was the statement that was made by the Prime Minister as well as the world leaders who are watching very, very carefully on whether there will be peace in the region finally.
It's an excellent statement. At the same time, we should be relieved not only because the hostages are released, we should be relieved that the genocide that Israel has been carrying on also will be stopped, at least temporarily.
I am happy that our Prime Minister is also supporting, and there should be peace between Israel and Hamas according to this agreement, whether Israel will withdraw its troops or not, because nobody can trust Israel. So let us see what happens. We just hope and we pray.